Hello everyone, and hi, this is Raghu from this side, and I currently study at XLRI Jamshedpur. And last year I was at your place. Like I just finished my CAT. It went well, but not as much as I expected. So here I am to discuss what I have done and how I would go about that and what you should be doing. Firstly, in despite what everyone says, I genuinely feel that SAT is a comparatively easier test than CAT, obviously. The reason is because you can switch between sections. And what does that do for you? It helps you to maximize your score in the section you prefer the most. For me, it was verbal, and for you, it can be anything that you are comfortable in. So now that I've said that, let us see how can we go about it. I've made down some points, and I'll be telling you why, like what I did, and if it suits your style, please follow them. Firstly, giving mocks is important, and I would say target approximately 10 mocks, and then study the last 4 to 5 years of SAT papers. It would be more than enough. So it will be approximately 15 tests that you would be taking in a span of 1 month. So every alternate day, and you can also do like past year papers. You don't need to solve them. You can just look at them because most of the time the questions are repeated in your mocks. So that can be done. So, but 10 mocks at least, which is proctored, and that should be done. Now, coming to the next thing is what should be your target score? So, I had a aim to have a target score of 30 minimum, which should be my minimum, and 33, 34 to be safe. And that is usually the case. If you get 30 or 32, you will always get a call. And that should be a ballpark number you should be aiming for. And now you might ask, what should be the sectional cutoffs I should be aiming for, and like how do I go about each section? So let me go on there. So first thing is let's get away with DM. DM is a section where you need to is unique to that obviously, but DM is not hard. But that being said, it is deceptively time taking. People might think that okay, I can read the question, I can take decisions instantly, but people end up spending way too much time on DM and neglect the other sections. Yes, it's not comparatively hard, but once you keep thinking about the same problem for a long time, it eats away your time without you knowing. So what should be your ideal score in this? I would say anything above 6 is a very safe score, and above 7 is a score you should be targeting in your box. So once you're above 7, then comes your other two sections. Now coming to the second section, which is quant or VRC, depending on how you're attempting it. But my strong suggestion would be every one of you should attempt quant second. It doesn't matter what you attempt first or what you attempt last, but quant should be your second section or your first section, because quant is the one place in ZAT which is scoring, and anyone who is good at math should capitalize, because in quant you either know the question or do not know the question. There is no workaround. You don't need to think much, but you need to think like you need to put your mental efforts most in this section, because it is tiring. It consumes brain power, and it keeps solving, and if you miss this section, which is scoring section, you'll not be able to cover up in your other sections. So make sure that your quant is second. You can go VRC quant DI or quant like not DI DM. You can go VRC quant DM or DM quant VRC, or quant like quant should be in the first two slots. I think that is one of the biggest thing I've found out in my mocks, because it is kind of time consuming, and also it will it's also a score booster. You know it, you get it, you increase your score. So coming to VRCs, VRCs are more, I would say, wordy in that, in a sense that they have the vocabulary is a little tough, but then they're more easily comprehensible. Like in a sense, they have a particular. You can see that they speak about one thing consistently. They don't go all around the place like you can see in cat, I would say. And then you have poem RCs. It is like one of the feared things. I don't know why, but read a few, try to solve a few poem RCs from the last 5 to 6 years. You'll get a hang of it. It's just about testing that can you adapt to changes, and that's about the sections. Now, final pointers I would give for each section would be, first thing is, get familiar in VRC, get familiar with the like poem RCs, and like the verbal ability part are comparatively moderate to difficult. So if you're good at verbal ability, not the RC part, you can actually do well in your VRC as a whole. Quant is a very scoring juncture where I think everyone should strive to get higher score. And lastly, your DM is deceptively long, like in the sense it takes a lot of time. So please ensure that you don't just go away in your thought and ruin your mocks. And you will figure it out when you write your exams too. And lastly, in DM, my suggestion would be, please read the question twice, because sometimes they ask you questions about, think about what you would do from a company's perspective, or as an employee what you do. So you need to understand what an employee's like perspective is, what's the firm perspective is. Like if they ask you as a firm what would you do, you're not going to give an answer which your employee would give. So those kind of nitty-gritties you just need to look at, and once you get a hang of it, DM becomes easier to a point where you can score 90 percentile above, like which is like 7-8 marks is doable in this. So the target should be 32, and these are the things. And if you ask me what my sectional goals were, though it not go exactly as I expected, and so I got approximately 15 plus in quant, and I got 10 plus in VRC, but a little less in DM. But I could clear all the cutoffs, and my score was well above. I got 99 plus percentile in XAT, and I hope you guys do the same. Thank you, and sir will be able to help you out with any guidance you need during the exam and post the exam too. Thank you.